And we are in episode 153. And welcome into the Bench is Clear podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the best team of all time the past 7 days, San Francisco Giants.
And I'm Dave, representing the side of one of the most unluckiest team ever.
Right.
And just reeling from it right now. But we'll get into it.
Yeah, it's not often that I could be so happy and you so sad. And I shouldn't even be happy because they're playing for nothing. You know, it's almost comical at this point. But before we get into all that, there's a lot of stuff to get around on the league. It's just playoff baseball time, and a lot of weird things are happening. And it turns out that I'm the smartest man to ever predict things in sports. I predicted that the Tigers are going to be in the playoffs, and that prediction looked dumb at the beginning of the season, halfway through the season, even a couple months after that. And then the last couple weeks, the Tigers have been on just a soaring, High School Musical style, soaring and flying into that last postseason spot. Are you willing to admit that I know all, or are you just going to be a homer?
Hey, well, I also said that 3 NL West teams are going to make the playoffs, and that's looking really likely as well.
It's possible that it is not. The Diamondbacks suck at baseball right now, and they're playing the best team ever. The eliminated Giants are the best team ever. So if they lose again today, the Braves could sneak in that spot.
Yeah, but then that's just going to make the Snakes that much hungrier, and they're facing the Padres next, so that bodes well for us. So if you want to keep getting them mad and then they have to win a couple of games, that's good. I don't mind that either.
Well, this is Zach Day. We are recording this before the game. We don't know if the Giants are going to sweep the Diamondbacks or if they're going to squeak out that last win. We're also obviously recording, if you are paying attention to times, we're also recording before the second Padres and Dodgers game. But we're going to get into all that. That's a preview. That's a pretext, whatever you want to call it. What do we think about these Tigers?
I think they're young. I think they're exciting. And, everybody clings onto a team when their team loses. And, the America's team that year or whatever, I think that could be the Tigers. I think that, why not? They got there, although, the Royals also had a similar path. They're the 5 and the 6 right now. But, yeah, I think the people were rooting for the Orioles a couple of years ago, also because they hadn't been there in a while. So it's a good story until they face your team. Then, you want that story to end.
I mean, the Giants did just destroy the Orioles and the Royals. Best team ever. I'm going to take a win any way that I can. So I'm going to bring that up.
Is it safe to say that the Giants are the best team in baseball when there's no pressure?
I guess. I mean, because they were really bad when there was. I guess there was technically pressure there too. You could say that. You could say a lot of things. It doesn't mean that they're true, but in this case, I think they actually might be true. I don't know. I think it's just. I don't know if it's a pressure thing or it's just the baseball gods want to laugh at us because I don't know. We had so much good go our way in 10 years ago that it's like a lot bad has to happen to you for a little bit. So this is kind of maybe just a little slap. It almost feels like a slap in the face. Maybe it shouldn't, but it does. That's kind of where I feel.
That's kind of how I feel when it comes to division rivals. There was a while where we couldn't beat the Diamondbacks, and then we beat them in the playoffs, but we couldn't beat them in the regular season. I feel like that's happening with the Padres right now, man. Like I feel like we can't. It's hard to get a win against them right now, and it's just like a cycle, and we just have to go through it, and then hopefully we come up on the other side of it, and maybe it'll be in the playoffs. But yeah, I just feel like that's.
I mean, this could all be for nothing if the Dodgers win today
or tomorrow.
Yeah, or tomorrow. Right. I think, man, but tomorrow it would be like do or die, and it's Bueller versus Musgrove. I don't know. I think today is the day to win. Because Flaherty is probably your guys' best starter at the moment.
Yeah.
Cease is
I'm not.
really good, but he's touchable. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think if they can keep it close, maybe, but offense has to show up, man. Offense has to. They just need to show up. Mookie and Freddie. I mean, we'll get into it later, but yeah, they just need to show up.
Right. And I'll say one more thing about it because we are going to get into it later, and I get it. But this should actually make you feel good about it, to be honest with you, because it seems like the team that owns the other team throughout the regular season, they can't buy a win against that team, and they see them in the playoffs. They usually end up winning, which is the thing that worries me looking from the outside. So
what I do
could
like
be.
from that statement, it's that not that it's necessarily true, but I think when you beat somebody so much, you kind of think it's expected. And so I don't know if the Padres are there where they're going to get to the point they're like, oh yeah, dude, these guys, it doesn't matter, we're going to beat them. Because I know that the Dodgers were like that for a while until they got punched in the face in the playoffs by them. So it's not bad if it happens the other way, but you're right. Maybe in the playoffs it'll give them a sense of nothing can go wrong, and then Dodgers punch them in the face. But who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? Before
Who
we
knows?
get into our team's weeks, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the CJ Abrams situation. Guy was partying all night, I guess, like Michael Jordan, and a team that is like 40 games out of the playoffs. I'm not going to look it up the exact number, but I'm sure it's about 40 games out of the playoffs. Got mad and sent him down to AAA. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it because, yeah, on one end it's like you're a Major League Baseball player. You need to take it seriously. You can't be out hanging out all night into the morning. At the same time, when I'm not working, leave me alone. I can do whatever I want. If I show up on time, he's not exactly reporting at 5 o'clock in the morning. He gets to report at 11 o'clock, I think, something like that. When it's an early game. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think I think they chose the wrong time to make a statement. Like you haven't been winning. You haven't made the playoffs in a couple years. I know you want to set a precedent and you want to make it look professional. Maybe I don't know, but it was the wrong time. Like if there's more to this story, then I get it. But this should have been kept under wraps. And then, oh, he's not starting for whatever reason. Then you find out, oh, it's disciplinary or something. But just the same day you find out, and it's just, oh, he was out partying. He was, by himself. I don't know. It seems like there's more to the story that we don't know. Because it doesn't make sense that once you're done.
Right. It could be. And it's not like a service time manipulation thing either, because there's him being out for that short of time. It's not going to when they did it, it's not like it's going to take off a year of service time or it's going to mess with his money. So it's not like they're trying to save money in that aspect. So you wonder what maybe this isn't the first time. This is just kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back.
And they kind of did him a favor. There was only 2 games left in the minor league season. So, I mean, he gets to go on vacation earlier, I guess. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know why they did it. It seems a little too harsh. But if there's more to the story, then maybe I get it. But it's just, I don't know. It just seemed like weird.
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And I guess it ties in a little bit. I think we should talk about Giants baseball real quick, because at the end of the day, what exactly does it mean? Probably nothing. So it kind of ties into it because CJ Abrams was one of those guys that got called up way earlier than he should have. But the Padres played him, and when he got traded to the Nationals are just playing him, struggled for a while, and became a pretty successful story. I mean, I know he has defensive woes and all that kind of stuff, but he looks like he could be a star. He's a really young guy. And the Giants need to commit to doing that to Marco Luciano, and they're like botching his development. So I guess this week in Giants baseball is, what are we doing? Like I said, they're playing the best they've ever played. They've gone 7-1 in their last 8, won 5 straight since being eliminated, and they're not playing the Nationals and the Rockies at home, they're playing the Orioles, the Royals, and they're beating the crap out of the Arizona Diamondbacks currently. So it's like it's frustrating. It's good to see that they can hit home runs, and it's cool to see. Now the only thing that we're watching for is Matt Chapman maybe breaking the 30 home run curse. He's at 26. So, oh no, sorry, 27 because inside the park home run. So he needs maybe one more in Arizona, and then maybe get two more at home. We get 30 home runs. Everyone goes home happy. I guess that's besides what we're going to get into in studs and duds later. That's really I can say. Like I'm not going to break down and get into all the numbers of why they're doing good, because it's like, what's the point? I mean, Landon Root, it is really encouraging to see it. They're going to have some good starting. They have really good starting pitching, especially depth right now. But maybe trade one or two of them and get a legit back, because that's what you need. And if you trade, those guys can't say no to you like the guys in free agency can. Fun fact.
True that.
So let's not get into the numbers. Break down the games.
Unless you just retire on the spot.
That's true. You pull a Jackie Robinson and just retire and so you don't have to play.
Exactly. Oh, the Giants? I'm out. That was a good career.
Actually, I'm sick. I can't do this anymore.
I can't come into work for a couple of years.
So that's Giants baseball. It's like we're doing good, but I don't know. I guess we'd be upset if we're doing bad. I guess when you're eliminated, there's nothing that the team could do right. So,
I mean, it's good for the young guys if you're playing them, but other than that,
that's really good, Dave. I'm really that's like a new concept. I've never heard of that because the Giants don't do that, which we will talk about later. So,
okay,
guys aren't playing. Let's just say that Marco Luciano is in the spring training facility right now, while Donovan Walton. Let's talk about Dodger baseball. All right,
Dodgers baseball. Oh man, where to begin, dude? We were here last time, and we were like, I was pretty confident in what we had and everything, and I'm not gonna waver too much from that, but it's just every day it's a new injury. Gavin Stone is definitely probably not coming back. Not probably, but
definitely probably
both of those, because you never know with this pitching staff, or training staff, the way they say things that he might be okay, and then he's like the very next day he's like, yeah, he's dead. So he's not coming back. I don't think so. We're hanging our hopes on maybe Tony Gonsolin coming back, and they said, which whatever, but it's like, hey, he doesn't need to pitch in the regular season to make the postseason roster. I'm like, why not? Can he pitch once? Yeah. Can he at least pitch once before he makes his debut in a really critical game? But I guess that's not happening. So all that aside, the injuries, yesterday's game versus the Padres was tough to watch. I mean, we knew Landon Knack. We were hoping and praying that he would give you a good outing. And he didn't. He didn't last more than he went 4 innings, I think. 4 runs. Just couldn't handle it. The bullpen came up pretty strong. They pitched 5 scoreless innings, kept us in the game. The offense was just not there. Like, again, just very mediocre at bats, giving away at bats on pitches that are on the other batter's box, just stuff that we've seen in the playoffs. And it's like, I've seen this movie. I'm tired of it. Can we change it? And the way it ended, it was really infuriating, dude, because 1 in a million shot of that happening. And it's like, and then you have Ohtani, who just walked off. Ohtani, who tied a game before, and Mookie, who just walked off a game. And you're like, all right, dude, at least I want them to bat once. Even if they ground into a double play, at least it's our stars. Didn't happen. Triple play to end a game is just ridiculous. Like, I don't care how, any way you see it, that is just ridiculous. Like, you don't never expect that at all. Like, there's somebody out there in the Twitter world was like, oh, yeah, here comes a triple play. Just probably to, make fun of the situation, and then it happens. Like,
right.
Unbelievable. But my worry and my anger was really more towards the 2 superstars. Mookie and Freddie didn't show up again. 0 for 8. And there was big moments, and you needed them to do something. And that was a difference in the game because their team came through. Jake Cronenworth came through. Bogarts came through. Just their guys. They came through, and we didn't. We didn't have those moments. And even when we hit it hard, we hit it right at someone. So if there's anything to like give me a pause and be like, damn, we've seen this again. It was the offense, but I was pretty I was happy with the bullpen, man, and we know we're gonna lean on them pretty heavily in the playoffs. So it looked good, at least that part. But other than that, everything else was like, I've seen this before, man, and I'm seeing it early before the playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah, I would be more worried about your rotation, honestly. Like that is like a gaping hole. In all honesty, this is just the baseball fan in me that's saying that they cannot score a run to save their lives right now. It's almost like they're getting it out of the way. Like if there's a team that's so hot, that's like so hot getting like I'll be honest with you, the Tigers, I'm really excited they're going to make the playoffs, but they are so hot right now. I'm thinking they're in playoffs. They're not going to do shit. They might win a game, but they're not going to. I don't even think they're going to move on to the second round because they're really hot at this moment. If you're really cold at this moment, I don't know. I don't know. So I look out for the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. Hopefully the Padres just keep going. Maybe I don't know. I'd rather the Diamondbacks win too because Padre fans are so freaking annoying. So, yeah, that's where I would be.
I mean, they partied late into the night yesterday, which is another thing. So hopefully they're hungover today. But I wanted to make fun of them for partying so hard, and then I realized they can't take this for granted. They don't. It's not something that happens every year for them. So, congratulations for them making the playoffs. But
it's not only that, but they're not guaranteed. I mean, they're rolling. They're not guaranteed the division. Like they're. I think the division is a legit possibility for them right now, especially because they have the tiebreaker. But
yeah, exactly. So I don't. I mean, whatever. Party hard. It's cool. Whatever. Hopefully, it benefits us. But hopefully they come in with some nasty headaches, and we'll just take advantage of that situation.
There's a lot of menudo in LA, so I'm sure they probably got their hangover cures. They're good to go. I don't know, man. Well, if they do end the series, say that the Padres do sweep the Dodgers, there's still one more series left. It's Dodgers and Rockies, and then Padres are playing the Diamondbacks. How are you feeling about the division if the Padres sweep?
Not great. Not great because I think the Dodgers could win 2 out of 3 against the Rockies. I don't think they would sweep them. So it really benefits us to just put this away early, today, and not have to worry about tomorrow. Not that you don't want to win it, but just in case you don't. But I don't think that the chances are great going into it like that. With that much momentum that the Padres would be going into that series, I don't know if you even stop them for the rest of the regular season. The only thing that would probably stop them is a 5-game layoff at that point to cool them off a little bit. But it'd be the worst case scenario for the Dodgers, I think, because like you said, we only have 2 good pitchers. And if you're going to line them up to pitch in the wild card, then you're really exposed in the NLDS, assuming you win the wild card series, and you don't have home field advantage at that point. Now you're going on the road, and you're going with 2 guys that are not pitching well, and probably Knack and Buehler, and so it gets really tough, dude. Like it's. I know you're in the playoffs, but you gotta win one of these 2. You gotta make sure you come up and show up because the road gets really, really tough, more than it already is.
Right. Well, I mean, tis what it is. This is such a big deal right now because of the possibilities. Like today, like we were saying, if the Dodgers win either today or tomorrow, this whole conversation is just over. And then it's just about, is your offense going to show up? Is your starting pitching hole that deep? Can the bullpen carry them because they're going to have to?
But I don't think it's that set in stone as everybody's saying. If they were able to take 2 out of 3, I would say, well, obviously it's over. But you're playing in Colorado. Anything can happen there, man. Yeah. Anything. So It's not
Right. But
set in
they're also
stone.
playing the Diamondbacks, who are still trying to fight their way in too. So it's not like they're playing like the White Sox or
Yeah,
even a team that's clinched.
but with this Padres team, I rather lean on the side of not anticipating a loss than expecting a loss, because the way they're playing is just, they're hitting in the right situations right now, and they're getting incredibly good pitching. So, I mean, you get the Diamondbacks are getting spanked by the Giants right now, dude. So I don't expect them to be, I mean, it could change.
If
Every
they
series
allow,
changes, but
yeah, I just feel like if you sweep a team in the playoffs when you're already eliminated, you get to take their record. You know what I mean?
you take
Like
their
you should be able,
record.
you should take their soul and take their record. Even take their spot in the AL playoffs. Fuck it, why not?
Let's get crazy. Last series of the year. If you're this close or whatever and you win, sweep, switch it up. You made it. Congratulations.
Hell yeah! While we're on that high note, I think it's time. For everyone's favorite segment. Dave, what are you thinking?
Let's do it.
All right. Yes, stud and dud of the week. We can talk Giants first, because why not? And this is why I'm also bringing this up, because this is going to be it's a stud, but I'm also upset. And I'm going to make a little bit of a warning. There's one guy on this Giants team that is so freaking hot right now. And his name is Michael Conforto. And this is a warning. I guess you should say his numbers, right? That would make sense. This week he's hit 4 home runs, hit almost 350 with a 1.231 OPS. Yeah, that's a really good player. Do not let this fog your judgment, though. Do not let Michael Conforto come back. He has hit 20 home runs on the year. It's not that good. Goes very cold. Swings out. Let's not get into that. Let's not. It's either we go all in on Soto, which we're going to miss out on. That's fine. But then you give Heliot Ramos those at-bats in left field. You let Grant McCray in center field, Jung-Hoo Lee in center field. You let Luis Matos in right field, or whatever. I would much rather that, and let's try to build a future. Do not get fogged by this week of, oh, man, what if Michael Conforto could? Just stop. Don't even go there. This is a warning. Michael Conforto is past his prime. He is done. Let him go. That's it.
All right. That's your stud.
That's my stud. That comes with a caution. That's my caution label at the bottom, the warning label. Don't do it, Giants fans. Don't get excited about Michael Conforto. Let him walk. He's done.
All right, let me give you my stud, who's pretty obvious. We've done it for 2 weeks in a row. We're going to do it a third time. We're going to give it to Shohei Ohtani, my guy. I just think I'm really excited for him in the playoffs, because I think every challenge he stepped up to it and he's crushed it. Even yesterday, he began the game with a leadoff single, roped the single, stole a base. Like, we didn't lose because of Shohei Ohtani, And even at the end of that game, when he was on deck, like, there was just this look on this guy, like, yeah, dude, just get me to the plate. Like, let me see some pitches, and we're gonna go home happy, kind of thing. So I like where his mentally where he's at. I wish the rest of the team was locked in like he is. I mean, he got struck out on some nasty pitches. It wasn't like he was facing freaking that Giants reliever that was a career minor leaguer, and he got the 3 strikeouts against him. What was it, Blevin? What's his name? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Spencer Bivens.
Yeah.
Spencer and then Eric Miller did the same thing, too. So there's a couple Giants relievers. Don't talk about the best team in the past 5 days.
A couple of nobodies, right? So he got struck out by, in this game, got struck out by
couple
Scott.
Mark-ass bitches.
Anyways, he's going to see some tough pitching in the playoffs. So I just think he'll respond to it. I think every challenge he's seen so far, he's crushed it. We're like on 55-55 watch at this point. I think he's almost there stolen base-wise. And yeah, man, like I said, I just can't wait to see what he does in the playoffs. I think it'll be special. Hopefully it's enough to carry the Dodgers into the World Series and win it, but we'll see.
Speaking of traps, Shohei Ohtani's 2024 season Is it the best clean season of all time, Dave?
Yes.
The answer is no.
The answer is yes. Does he play in a baby stadium? No. Does he have a big head because he was using steroids? No. He has a big head because he's the world's greatest baseball player and, the best player in the world. So, yeah. But didn't cheat.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Didn't cheat.
Go for it. No, finish it.
Doesn't play in a baby stadium. What else? Who else? His back doesn't hurt from carrying a squad, over there in New York. Who else? Anybody else that I'm missing?
Just so you know, Barry Bonds has like 3 seasons before he started doing steroids that were better than this season. And he played an actual position. Aaron Judge actually plays an actual position.
And then he went and decided to get a big head, dude, and just negate everything just because he had so much talent. We're not going to get into that, but he had so much talent. He didn't need
let's get into it.
He did not need steroids to keep playing,
you're
dude.
Right. No.
And he would have been, I would have still hated him because he just destroyed the Dodgers any chance he got.
Right.
But I think he was a special player before that. And he still was a special player. Like, I know steroids doesn't make you hit the ball. It just makes it hit you farther and stuff. But
recovery.
One of the best hitters ever. Yeah.
Right.
But whatever.
The best hitter ever. Yeah, he was a Hall of Famer before steroids. Hall of Famer with steroids. There's steroids in the Hall of Fame already. We're not going to get into that part. But what I'm saying, is
open a little side building next to the Hall of Fame, and that's where all the steroid users go. And they're in the Hall of Fame. But
there's already steroid users in the Hall of Fame now.
Nah, they're all
this second. Yeah, well,
I know they're so hypocritical. I know.
Into that trap. Don't fall into that trap. The thing is, I wish I could, bring myself to a point where I'm like, I'm going to post something really stupid for engagement online. I just can't. I can't be that guy, Dave. I can't. So if you're posting Shohei Ohtani is the best season we've ever seen, you're dumb. You're just a dumb person. Don't do it, kids. Get help. All right? From a DH ever, National League MVP 2024, 100%. Not disagreeing with you there. But you're talking about ever in the history of forever? Come on, kids.
Which is crazy because...
Get off the drug. Stay off the weed.
Which is crazy because this is maybe the only year going forward, until he starts to decline, that you can make that argument. Because he's not pitching this year. So,
100%.
Moving forward, like, this argument, it's like, you can't make it. He's doing both.
No, so that argument's going to help him next year.
No, that's what I'm saying. That, you can make the argument you're making now, saying it's not the best season ever because he's not pitching. And, I know he's recovering from Tommy John and all this other stuff, and it's great. It's amazing. But you're right. He only plays one side of the ball right now, and you really can't compare it with a guy who's playing, even if it's mediocre center field or shortstop, great Gold Glove, like you just can't. But
let's get this. Just to get this out of the way now, if Shohei Ohtani is even a serviceable 3 starter, and he does what Shohei Ohtani usually does, doesn't steal all these bases and hit, he's going to be MVP for the next, I don't know.
Well,
until he's not a serviceable starter anymore.
Obviously, I'm a homer, and I'm going to say all the nice things about him. But it's going to get 1,000 times worse if this guy comes back from Tommy John, or not even Tommy John, because they did it was a different surgery, right? Something, it was
apparently. They said it was like, Tommy John,
light or something?
Or
Yeah.
Okay, so, dude, whatever.
Like, the stuff that he's doing now is so incredible. It's great. But if he comes back next year after recovering from that and has a great pitching season, it's gonna go crazy, dude. Like, the first pitcher to come back and be this amazing, blah blah blah, blah. Like, I can hear it now, and I can hear all the prize, everything.
Yes,
so
sure. Right.
I know.
Everyone wants to give this guy a first time, but when it's not a first time, we can just say it's good. All right.
Whatever. The point is that if you guys hate it now, next year when he can do both and he's doing both really well, it's gonna be even worse for everybody because they're not going to be able to put up with it.
But at the beginning of the year, I even said, I think the words I used were the percentage that Shohei Ohtani is going to win MVP this year was like 0 or something like that. Because I was like, if anyone's even close to him,
you got to give it to the guy that feels.
You got to give it to the guy who plays every day. You just got to.
Yeah.
but you couldn't foresee that no one was going to be close to him. And then it's not even like remotely close to where you could make that argument. Like even the Francisco Lindor, that's too many steps to overlook.
Like even if you weren't a Dodger fan, it's just kind of incredible from afar. Like he's made it that competitive or whatever, that he's just like so gone in that discussion, to the point that they're even comparing him to Judge, who's having an amazing year on his own, probably better, not historically, but just better than Ohtani, and he's playing the field. Like it's just crazy that he's making it this close on a year that he's doesn't have his other side of the ball.
Yeah. Ohtani should have won the MVP over Judge. What was it, last year or the year before last year? I think it was last year. He should have won the MVP, but Judge broke the record, so blah, blah, so they gave it to Judge, and it makes sense. So in the same way, I would imagine if they were in the same league, it would be like, I don't know, the DH thing would be hard to overcome, but, he broke a record, he made a new club, it's the year of Ohtani. Do you give it to Ohtani? I don't know. You don't have to worry about it because it's different leagues, so who cares? But Judge is having a better season. Suck it up, dude. I'm don't be that guy. We're still on studs and duds. We I don't know what's going on. So
let me give you my dud or duds. And it's just one game, but I have to give it to them, to Mookie and Freddie. And it sucks because baseball's what have you done for me lately, and not like look what I've done, because he just walked off the game. You shouldn't be this mad at Mookie because he just literally walked off for us, but he had so many opportunities yet last night, didn't come through once. And Freddie was, I don't know if we're going to get the same Freddie the rest of the year. I know his fingers really, the hairline fracture, whatever it is, the fact that he's still playing, everybody's just forgotten about it. So maybe that's bothering him. But you got to have one hit in between you two, man. 0 for 8, no runs brought in. Like, you got to find a way to contribute somehow,
a crucial series,
way. Yeah. And if a ball's hit near you, you cannot dog it. Like, what are you trying to show everybody else? There was a clip of him just dogging it to grab it. Obviously it looked like he wasn't going to get to it, but just the effort. And I think that's what everybody wants. Is like, you need to match San Diego's energy. They hate the living crap out of you. They ooze hate for you. You can tell. Like, they'll look for random bulletin board material to be more mad at you. Like, they're always they just want to be upset at you. They hate you. I get it. You need to somehow try to match that, dude. Even if you don't hate these guys, even if whatever, you need to match that energy and come with that energy to beat these dudes, because that's what's needed right now. And as like one of the captain of this teams, like, show that passion. But yesterday was just a dud.
Let's keep it going. I love to see chaos, especially when it brings Dodger fans sadness. So yeah, I'm really rooting for the Padres these next couple of days. I'm gonna be at Dodger Stadium on Thursday. So
wouldn't it be great if they won when you were there?
Yeah, that would. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I think I went also on Friday last week. I think they won on that day too. So maybe I'm a good luck charm, which would be my ultimate nightmare. So let's hope not. Giants dud. Is this going to be a rant? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe I might just shut up and just cry on my own. Maybe I'll start crying now. Who knows? But this week's dud is going to, big picture here, because we're at the end of the season. Bob Melvin, dud of the week. His reasonings for not playing Marco Luciano at second is, we just feel Donovan Walton is just better at second base defensively. Marco, we want to put the best team on the field to play, because we're there's playoff implications to these other teams. We have a responsibility. Donovan Walton can't hit the ball for shit. Okay, Brett Wisely is not hitting right now. Okay, this is supposed to be your guy. This was your number one prospect for a long time. This is your promise. This guy could be our 19-year-old or 20-year-old superstar. He's getting the Heliot Ramos treatment, where he should just be up here, letting him struggle a little bit. You look at the numbers from the second base position from the year. I think it's like I think I saw Jeff Young posting about it, and it was like a 63 OPS plus. It's like, are you really putting the best team on the field right now by putting Donovan Walton at second base. Like I don't see it. I don't get it. Don't you want to build for the future? What are we doing here? I understand that Luciano's not the best second baseman in the world, but a way to get him better is to get him more reps there and to figure it the hell out. And this is the time to do it when you're already eliminated. You literally only got a week left. Just let him freaking play. Oh, I don't know. That's just me. I mean, and there's a lot of talks that Farhan might get fired over this. Who knows? He wouldn't give they were already interviewing about this him about the season, and he's not letting it spill what ownership thinks about him. So who knows? But it's a legit situation where Farhan might get fired. I think it's time to move on, or he's got to drastically change some philosophies, because those philosophies ain't been working. So
and responsibility to who? Because you're only helping out the Padres or the Dodgers. You know, you're not really. And if you put Luciano there, you're still putting a competitive team out there. Like,
right,
you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're putting a garbage man out there and throwing a game. Like, you're putting your young kid who you want to see how he handles second base. Like, I don't understand that logic.
To have him in Scottsdale at their spring training facility, I just don't get it. You know, they're talking about moving him to the outfield, you know, but you got a crowded outfield. You got Matos, Ramos, Jung-Hoo Lee. You got Grant McRae, who's been doing pretty good. He's striking out a lot, but he's also hitting home runs. I don't know, dude. You're also I don't know. I feel like you guys just got to take a bunch of these guys that are like middle-of-the-road dudes, see if you can package them for one dude that's solid, maybe at second base, maybe even a guy who's just average. Give me a Jonathan India at second base. Yeah, I don't know. Do something. Do something.
Yeah.
Trade
I'm
for somebody.
I'm gonna propose something crazy. Let's see if you'd go for it. A
Okay.
Dodgers Giants trade. Two guys that haven't been great. It depends, I guess, the value, but give me Camilo Duvall, and I'll give you Gavin Lutz.
I'm gonna have to say no.
You get a second baseman. We get a wild guy that maybe we can fix. And maybe we need to throw in. We might need to throw in another lower end prospect to maybe even it out a little bit. But I mean, different situations. I don't know. Give me the.
I could see Lux turning out to be solid. I can easily see Camilo Duvall coming back and being that guy, especially if he goes to the Dodgers and having him haunt you for that long. I'm gonna have to say no. I would be open to trading Camilo Duvall for somebody else like that sort of situation.
See, but you're looking at it scared from the vantage.
Because we play the Dodgers.
But you're scared that he's gonna be great, and
right.
Yeah, exactly. But listen, you're scared of this guy turning out great, and that's fine. The shelf life on a reliever isn't that long. I think if Gavin Lux turns into a stud, we're more impacted by that because he plays every day.
Yeah, but I think his free agency is not that long. Like, from now, I think he might only have another year or two on him.
Yeah,
and Camilo Duvall thing for like 6 years.
Yeah. I mean, just the thought, you know, maybe it helps both teams, but who knows?
Last thing I'll do is help you. So the answer is no.
We'll see how he does this playoffs, but I mean, I think he's getting a long leash, and he might not be in the plans for the future if he doesn't really show up.
The only way I think I would really want to do like a Dodgers trade, like if like now, like knowing like if we were out of it and it was like, hey, we're trading you a rental, like if it was like, hey, we're trading you guys Blake Snell and we got like one of your prize dudes, I would do it because I'm like, hey, we're gonna kill them in the long run, you know, and just hope Blake Snell sucks in the playoffs or something.
Yeah, I wonder if that would have happened too, because they've had interest in him. I think if Glasnow's not back, if he has to miss any portion of next year, I think Blake Snell's a Dodger, dude.
I don't know about that.
Only because they seem to have interest in this guy for a while. Yeah. And he usually gets his guys somehow at the end that he's been like Edman. He said he's been looking at for a couple of years. Finally got him. Who was the other? Kopech too. So who knows?
Yeah, I'll let you guys have Blake Snell if we for sure get Corbin Burns, but that is a whole nother conversation.
I'd make that trade.
I'd make that deal.
I'd make that
damn good deal.
We got a deal. You know what? Next season we got those guys.
All on our way out, Dave, I feel like we have to talk about a little bit about these playoffs. Um, Man, you're looking at this postseason picture right now, and some of these teams are not as I don't know. I'm not as fearing some of these teams. Maybe like I should. I don't know. You tell me. Give me. I'm gonna want to do one NL, one AL team that is the most likely maybe to win maybe to at least get to the World Series just because they're a complete team. Um, Man, and I'm thinking of two in the NL, but I'm gonna give it to because you're not gonna give it to them because you hate them at this moment. So I'm gonna give it to the San Diego Padres. Starting pitching, star hitting. You know their bullpen is crazy. They're hot right now, like Hansel, so hot right now. I don't know, man. I think that they're built between them and another team in the NL to make it to the World Series. They're one of the two complete teams in the NL.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think they're pretty. If they get enough hitting, I think they got a really good pitching, and that's what carries in the postseason. But
Right.
they are leaking at the end, dude. Their closer is leaking oil, and he's been leaking oil for a minute. And those other guys are great. I'll give you that. They're really good. But if they're forced to close and they're in different situations, and it just changes the whole dynamic of that bullpen, and who knows? Maybe they get
triple plays more often. You're fine.
But yeah, I also feel like the Phillies. I just think the Phillies have a little bit better pitching between Nola and Wheeler. I think I'd take those two almost over anybody in the playoffs right now.
Right.
Those two.
That was my other team.
Yeah, and then you have Suarez. The number 3 is. They don't give him too much respect, but he's a horse in the playoffs. So that I'd probably go with the Phillies number 1 on the NL side, and on the AL, I think it's tougher. I think it's up for grabs there, man. I don't see a clear favorite.
I don't think I fear any of those teams. I mean, the Orioles starting pitching is shot. The Royals, I feel like, are like kind of like the Guardians, where they're very situational, where that could be the best, because that's what you need is situational, but you can't predict situational hitting, So there's plenty of teams who are situational hitting team throughout the entire season, and then, you have a bad 3-game stretch, and then you're out, you're done. So that's what would scare me about them. Tigers are really young, no postseason experience.
And you also feel like some of these teams are playing their best baseball now. Like they're playing their best to get in there, and once they get in there, it might not be the same. Like some flaws might show or whatever, but right now they're playing really good ball. But yeah, maybe the Indians with good pitching, but I hate to say it, but the freaking Astros, dude. If they get good pitching, they've got a lineup that's been there, and it's just about the pitching, because I just don't trust the Yankees. If you can shut down Judge and Soto, you're looking good.
Yeah.
So
starting pitching, Garrett Cole is extremely good, but right after that, Nestor Cortez
hasn't looked like
down.
Garrett Cole too much.
Right, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, he could always turn it on. And Nestor Cortez just went down, and it's Carlos Rodon is so up and down, So, he has one bad start that could be the end. You might not get another shot. So, if I were to pick a team, I'm going Tigers, because I've been picking the Tigers to make the postseason. They finally made it, so I'm picking Tigers. They're the team of destiny. If they knock out, if this playoff picture stays the same, and they knock out the mighty Astros, I'm pull your mortgages out, kids. Put all your money on the Detroit Tigers.
If they steal that first game with Scuball in Houston, if they steal that game, watch out. They're not the Mariners that just froze and put a starter to give up the game last year versus the Astros, but yeah, who knows? Scuball, if he can win that first game, it changes.
And they got fire bullpen too. Yeah.
So
yeah,
I do think a National League team is going to win it all, though. I do feel. Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah. I feel that way too. But you never know. I mean, it's always about who just gets hot. But I'm gonna give it to a national team, which kind of scares me, because I really don't want it to be the Dodgers. So we shall see. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about it mainly. I mean, shoot, if the Padres sweep you guys, we might have to emergency podcast and try to figure this out at the end, maybe the last game of the year or something. Who knows? What day is the last game of the year?
It is this Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Sunday.
Definitely can't do that. They're gonna have to. Oh yeah, the Mets and Braves doubleheader on Monday, which they're gonna have to play those games.
Did we talk about this? Did we talk about how messed up this is before we go?
I don't think so. No, we talked about it before. I don't think it came up again. I think that's the thing we almost forgot to talk about.
Dude, so they got postponed today, and the Braves are 1 game back of the Mets. So now they're going to go to Milwaukee, finish that series with them. This is the Mets. And after they're done with them, they're going to come back to Atlanta to do the doubleheader. And if they're so happen to win out and go to the playoffs, they have to go the very next day to either Los Angeles or San Diego.
Wow.
So that's crazy, dude. I don't know
wow,
how that
yeah,
happens.
And it's
crazy.
They're not playing tomorrow. It's like postponed already for tomorrow's game. Like
it was a big storm coming in.
Apparently. Gosh, it's almost like you're gonna hear this. We're not playing in Atlanta. You're going to play New York. Like, we got to get these games done. Like, it is what it is almost. That's what I feel like. But you can't do that. I mean, if it's still raining, I mean, what's going to – I don't know. There's going to have to be a lot of tiebreakers. Maybe – and there's no, like – the second thing is it's between those 3 teams. I mean, if Arizona, like, loses, like, badly, like, they're going to have to play those games. Like, there's just no way around it.
And what happens if Monday gets rained out or something, you know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if there's
just chaos, dude. Like, the playoffs start the very next day. Like, that's just – I'm all for it. The chaos. It's just crazy.
It's just going to have to be, like, tiebreakers, I guess, or something. They're going to have to figure something out. But we'll figure it out. I'm not sure what the first postseason game is. If the last game is on Sunday and then that stuff is on Monday, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday.
We might have to podcast.
I think the playoffs start Tuesday, yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I think that's the wild card.
Wild card. Oh, okay. Well, you guys might not be in the wild card, so
or we might be.
Well, yeah. So we're gonna have to figure out. We'll figure out when we're definitely gonna podcast next week, but it might be at the end of the week. But we're gonna have to bring on somebody that's who you're going to be playing because you're definitely there, and there's somebody who's definitely not going to be there, and that's us. So we're gonna have to try to bring someone on to talk about these Padres or these Mets, or who knows what could happen. Maybe even the Braves. Who knows? It might get crazy. But yeah, it's a lot of situations that could happen, which is kind of funny. Like this whole, there's no way that the Braves and Mets thing is not chaos. Like I feel like there's no way it could shake out. The Dodgers and Padres thing could be the craziest thing too, or the Dodgers could just win tonight or tomorrow, and then literally, like no one gives a fuck because it's gonna be pretty much laid out. So we shall see.
That's the crazy thing. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Nobody give a damn. If they win today, Dodger fans are just gonna be like, "Oh hum, awesome, great." Everybody else is just gonna be quiet. But if we lose, it's just gonna get much worse.
And Padres fans will be obsessed because they are happy that they beat the Dodgers, I guess, or something. I don't know. Isn't that weird though? Like they're playing you guys, so they're about to play you guys to win the division, and they're chanting that they want, beat LA. We're about to play LA. Is that an obsession, or is that, hey?
I mean, it was their last
NL West run.
It was their last game of the year at Petco, so you'd think they'd be just celebrating. I mean, they were celebrating with the fans, but given the fact that where they started and where they're finishing, the fact that like it was everybody thought the Dodgers were just going to run away with it again. Injuries made this so much closer, but the fact that you're there, I get the context. Right. It's not. Yeah. To me, the chant is cringe. No matter if it's the Padres or the Giants or whoever it is, I don't like it. Right? It's cringe. Whatever. But that's just me as a Dodger fan. But in the context of it, yeah, go for it, dude. Of course you want to beat us. Of course this is the next big series of the year. Like, I have no problem with it. That's not rent free to me.
Right. All right, just want to check the pulse, because you are Dodgers. All right,
I
you are the
guess
Dodgers. You are Chaz Michaels, and you are figure skating. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
that's
So,
right.
yeah. Well, I think that's it for this week, man. Anything else you got for them?
No, man.
Are
Just
you gonna rally the
waiting.
troops?
Right now, just waiting. What, half an hour before the Dodgers go out there and just lay it on them and win,
Okay.
or they're gonna get destroyed. So we're gonna cut it. One of those two, and you're gonna make me look good. All right.
Hell no, I'm not. But we will be here next week at some point. We'll figure it out. We
You're
don't
either
want to just.
You're gonna get or Happy Dave, or we're just gonna run the table, Dave. One of these Daves you're gonna get. We'll see.
And that's gonna be background me because I'm just gonna be sitting here doing nothing. But I'll be here, figuring this out with you, and make sure you subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform, as well as YouTube. Make sure to hit all the socials: Twitter, Benches Cleared P, Instagram, Benches Cleared Podcast, and TikTok, Benches Cleared. We'll figure out the day. If you're subscribed, it's going to give you the notification. I just don't. We're not going to subscribe to a certain day because we don't know what's going to happen. We want to be up to date to know what's going on. So subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And thank you so much for listening. We appreciate that you're here. And see you next week sometime. We are out. Thank you so much.